Westley Wednesday workout going live in 4 minutes.
Going live in 3 minutes time.
Live in 2 minutes.
We're going to be live in 1 minute. Get yourself ready, get your water bottles, get ready to go.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, Wesley.
Morning.
Well, what a morning we've had. Last week we couldn't get our camera to work. And this morning at 7:45, the internet dropped out of school. So we've had no internet for the last hour, but we are back.
It's been stressful, it's been stressful.
Woo! So just to remind you, my name is Mr. Daniel.
And my name's Miss Bloomfield.
And what a week we had last week. I absolutely loved it.
It's so good, brilliant. And this week we had everything ready to go, and we are going to be bringing your lessons live to you. So last week we had so many shout outs in the comments. It was actually quite hard to keep up with them all. We had so many incredible emails sent from students, from parents, from ex-students. It was absolutely fantastic. So thank you for that.
It was fantastic. It was brilliant. Actually, Miss Bourne, we're going too far on our live feed. We're lost as to where we are. So can we go back a few slides just to make sure we don't miss anything out? One more, please. Okay, so I was thinking back to last week and thinking about Mr. Moore, Sporty Sarah. I mean, what an absolute blast they were.
Brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. And Mr. Jeffrey came on and done his running challenge.
He did.
It was superb. Mr. Jeffrey has actually asked me to do a little message to all the students at Westley. Every morning for registration, we are doing a Google Meet with your form teacher, and it is essential that you log on live to the Google Meet. So please log on live to the Google Meet.
Absolutely. So yeah, again, we had so many great emails, and this week we're going to be even more encouraging you to take part as well as giving us some comments. So make sure that you are joining in with us as we go, and also giving out a few shout outs along the way.
Absolutely. One of the emails that I got, which I really loved, is Malachi in year 7. We know he works really hard in all of his lessons. His parents sent me some videos of Malachi doing some fantastic workouts. So big shout to Malachi. That was absolutely phenomenal. We are so proud of what you are achieving at home.
Absolutely.
Positivity in school. It's been brilliant, hasn't it?
It has been a huge buzz around the school since we went live last week. So again, it's just creating that really positive atmosphere.
I think some of the things that people like last week is the fact that it's teachers that are familiar coming live to you. I know that my favourite thing last week was Mr. Jeffrey's fartlek. It did make us laugh, and I know that one of the other rivals to us was also doing their own version of a fartlek, but maybe that's because he had too many baked beans.
Mr. Daniel, you crack too many jokes.
I do indeed. So let's move on. We are looking to today speak first about the test centre.
Definitely. So in school, to make sure we are all safe, like last week, we've all had our COVID test this morning, and even our special guest who's coming into school today to lead the first part of our PE session had his COVID test, and we are all negative, and we are all making sure we are still staying socially distant away from each other. We are indeed. So everyone's negative. We're good to go this morning. I'm just going to speak about how much I loved last week. It was absolutely brilliant. It was brilliant to bring a live PE lesson via YouTube to everybody at home, and also the children that are working in our mini gyms. I'm so proud to be part of this Westley team staff. It's absolutely fantastic. I know for a fact that when we are in school, the level of lessons are such high quality, it's fantastic, but that is now being replicated at home. I watched a video yesterday from Miss Edie Scott, our maths teacher, and she actually helped my daughter at home. She's also in year 5. So it's a brilliant help. Big shout out to Miss Edie Scott, absolutely fantastic. And also, I was watching a video in school, Miss Conroy, our French teacher, absolutely brilliant. I feel like I'm a bit of an expert now. Ooh la la. I totally agree with Daniel. It was brilliant. So in an ideal world, we wouldn't have to be in this situation. We wouldn't have to be at home. We would be in school. However, we are trying to give you the best home learning that we possibly can. We are really stepping it up. We're making sure that our communication is there, and that if anyone needs us, we're just at the end of an email. So we are really trying to step this up. So a big thanks to Mrs. Hart and Mrs. Law, who spent a lot of time working on our package to deliver to our pupils. Absolutely, absolutely brilliant from Mrs. Hart and Mrs. Law. So let's move on. Before we start today and bring our special guest on, I've got 3 special guests of my own. We've got Eleanor, we've got Lily, and we've got Casey. So good morning, guys, and thanks ever so much for joining us this morning. Those are my 3 special guests. Okay, so last week we had, around school, we had mini gyms. So we had some classrooms with all the tables and chairs pushed away, and they were going to be the places where our key worker children were doing their workout. And we were so impressed again with the level of effort that was put in from all the children who were in schools. So fantastic effort, well done. Absolutely brilliant effort, absolutely loved it. And like I said, hold on, just slow down a second, young man. What are you doing coming in and interrupting a live PE lesson?
Last week, Mr. Jeffrey told me to not stop running until I heard the little whistle. So I didn't stop running.
So Sam, you've been running since last Wednesday? Yeah. This boy is so keen.
You must be knackered, Sam.
You must be absolutely worn out. Look, Sam, look, you need to run along. We've got a lesson to carry on. Off you go, run along. Running. Absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Right, so let's move on and get started with our first special guest. Okay, we had Mr. Moore last week, but we've actually got an outside agency coming in today. So I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Nick Smith. Yeah, and Nick has been offered to come in today to lead our session, and some of you might know that he's the owner of the playground in Barrow. So if you live close to Barrow, you probably have heard of it before. So we are now welcoming Nick into the screen. Hi Nick, how are you? Yeah, good, thank you. How are you? Very good, thank you. Nice of you to join us today. So, I'm just going to explain to the people at home the reason why you're here today. Obviously, you're not a Westley teacher. No. There is a connection with Mr. Smith that he owns the playground, as Miss Bloomfield was just saying, and talks were ongoing between ourselves about getting our students down to the playground for some of your sessions, and we hoped to take them in 2020, but obviously we all know what happened in 2020 with regard to the virus, so we all were locked down. So we're looking to do that again once things are lifted a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
So is there anything you could kind of explain to our students about the playground that might not know?
Yeah, sure. So for those that don't know about the playground, it's based over in Barrow. As you said, it's a 1 kilometre long, 25 obstacle outdoor salt course, undulating ground. There's monkey bars, cargo nets, muddy ditches, lots of obstacles to challenge yourselves, have fun on. Obviously, when we're not in lockdown, we welcome big groups such as schools, sports clubs, stag and hen do's, corporate teams. So yeah, schools are there for the taking.
Brilliant. There is a rumour that Mrs. Ryder holds the record, the fastest record over at the playground.
Yeah.
But I think she probably just went underneath all the
I think that's the one, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Okay, well, I'm going to hand you over so you can lead your session. Thanks ever so much. Over to you, Nick.
Okay. Got a 12-minute or so workout for you today, but before we get started, I can't do this workout without Sporty Sarah. Brilliant entertainment last week. Here she comes, almost slipping over. Okay, so as I say, 12-minute workout. We're going to do a warm-up for a couple of minutes. We've then got 10 minutes of 10 different exercises. We're going to be working for 45 seconds, resting for about 15 seconds while I explain the next one. Okay, but before we get into those 10 minutes, it's important to get the heart rate up, get the blood pumping to the muscles. Okay. Are we ready?
Can I just say,
oh yes,
I've tied my hair back today.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
And no jewelry.
Excellent. It's important to be safe while we're working out. Excellent, Sporty Sarah. Okay, keep three. Up on the feet. Right, let's get going. Jog on the spot. Okay, let's have some big arm circles forwards. Excellent. And big arm circles backwards. Okay, let's see if we can try one either way.
Okay, so we've got our first shout out that we're going to read out today, and Tom Reed says, "Yay, Sporty Sarah!"
Yay!
Louis Ockmore is shouting out for 8SD. Well done, Louis. Ollie Salisbury is asking for a shout out to myself. There's a shout for Ollie. Lorna Ferguson is also shouting out for 8SD. There must be an inside information for someone who has been plugging 8SD a lot recently. I don't know who that could be, Miss Bloomfield.
I don't know. It's not me, that's for sure.
Jogging again on the spot. You're going to side tap under, so you're going to have opposite hand to opposite foot. You come into the middle, back out to the other side. Okay, once you've got the hand of that, you can bring a bit of pace into it.
Just make sure you're bending your knees at this one as well.
Right. A little bit quicker. Let's keep that pace, let's get that heart rate going. Excellent. Sporty Sarah's combination is not quite there, but okay, jogging again on the spot. We're going to have some squats with a little pulse at the bottom. Okay, so feet wide and shoulder width, heads up, shoulders back, little pulse at the bottom. Good. Couple more.
Ty Stanley is shouting out for her form class. Rudy Lorkin is shouting out for his form class as well. Lola Jackson shouting out to 6LC.
Okay, when I say sprint, I want you to sprint nice and fast on the spot. 3, 2, 1, sprint.
Okay, we've got a few shout outs from Nick's video that he posted yesterday. So we've got Lexi Seal, I hope you're watching this morning. We've got Poppy Samuel.
And sprint.
Mary Francis is saying hi. Lola Jackson she's saying shout out to 6LC. And Miss Campbell Todd is saying go, Sporty Sarah.
That's right. Go, Sporty Sarah. Let's sprint.
Go, 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 go.
Even fast. Get it up.
Yes.
And hold it there. Good. Breathing right up. Fire it up, yeah? Good. Okay, first exercise then. We're going to have a reverse lunge. So we're dropping that back in, keeping those hips and shoulders up. If you can, kicking through. Okay? Change legs. Reverse lunge. Kick through. If you need to, no kick. Okay? So just reverse lunge. Are we ready? 45 seconds on the clock. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So reverse lunge. Into a kick if you can. Change legs. So changing legs each side.
Okay, we've got a shout out here from Malachi, who was mentioned earlier. Malachi's calling for a shout out, and he said he had burpees for breakfast.
A boy after my own heart. Brilliant. Okay, if you want, you can advance into a jump lunge with a kick. It says, for you know, jump lunge with a kick.
Okay, we've got some more shout outs. We've got Josh Ryber. We've got Harry, Mel.
15 seconds left.
Very fit, Nick.
7 seconds left.
Go on, Sporty Sarah.
And rest there. Good. We've got about 15 seconds rest. Exercise number 2. We're going down onto our hands and our feet. So we're going to have 2 shoulder taps. 1, 2, and then 2 arm raises out to the front. If you need to, just saying Sporty Sarah, from your knees if you need to. Okay, 2 taps.
Thank you.
Most well. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 2 taps.
Okay, so after last week and Mr. T asking Sarah if she would go on a date, we've now got Simon Byford Golf asking, are you married, Sarah? And if not, could he have a date? Seems a familiar theme. 2 out of breath to answer.
So if you want, you can advance it. So instead of the tap, you can do 2 press-ups, 2 raises.
Okay, well done. So the Year 6 is working in the background. Make sure you try and keep your back and your bottom still doing this one. Try and get really focused. Katie, that's a fantastic press up. Well done.
Okay, there's a shout out from 8LB for Charlie Riddick. A shout from Lola Jackson, who's calling again for 6LC. Grace Edwards is saying, Rosie, shout out to her.
1, and reset. Definitely getting warmed up. Third exercise, we've got super peaks. You can be on your fronts. Arms and legs out nice and straight. As you breathe in, you can lift my arms and legs up off the floor, okay? As you breathe out, back down. If you want, easy modification, opposite arms and legs. Okay? You want to make it a bit tricky, you're going to start with your hands and feet on the floor and lift from there. Okay? Leave it up to you. Get ready, 45 seconds on the clock. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Okay, we've got some more shout outs. We've got Josh Birch, we've got Ollie Mann, and we've got Nick's 2 daughters, Amelia and Olivia.
Oh, that's lovely. That's absolutely fantastic. Let's have some shout outs if you are watching this from another school other than Westley. We've sent lots of invites to various schools. So if you're watching from a different school other than Westley, give us a shout out, please.
Just over 20 seconds left. Keep working hard. Often when we talk about working our core and a tight core, we think about that classic 6-pack. It's important to get that lower back strong, especially if you're spending a lot of time working from home, studying from home.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's it. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and rest there. Lovely. Talking of 6-packs, we're now onto our bums. We're going to have 10 Russian twists. No feet on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got 10 of those. Then you've got 2 sit-ups. Okay. Just do crunches instead. Slightly easier modification. Okay. Rotating through those. 10 and 2. Get ready. 45 seconds on the clock. 10 Russian twists. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. If you want, you can advance it a little bit further and your feet off the floor.
Okay, we've got some brilliant shout outs. We've got a shout out from Will NU, who shouts out from County. We've got Evan Cornwall shouting out for the Cornwells. Also, Mrs. Ranson is saying the Year 5s are swimming along very nicely in room 2.
Keep changing through those Russian twists and those sit-ups. Make sure those fingers stay on the temple with those sit-ups.
We've also got some photos coming in from Mr. Redding, who is in one of the classrooms in our mini gym. So remember, if you'd like to send us a photo of your workouts at home, then please send them in to us.
Less than 10 to go.
Okay, we've got a shout out from Sam. You may have seen him in the video earlier, and he's asking for a shout out to Matt and Jack Law.
2, 1, and rest there. Good stuff. Up on your feet. 4 exercises done. We've got 6 left. Time flies when you're having fun. We've got 3 star jumps. Okay. You then go to 3 frog jumps. Riveting is optional. Okay. If you want, you can do squats instead of the frog jumps. Okay. Get ready for the 3 star jumps. We're off in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 3 star jumps. In 2, 3 frog jumps.
Okay, Burgess is saying the Year 7 girls worked out a great strategy in room 15 for doing the parachute thing.
Oh,
sounds interesting. Sibby Hogg is calling out for a shout out to 8SD. And William NU is shouting out to his brother Rufus.
when you're doing your star jump, see if you can get your hands right to the top so they can meet in the middle. There we go.
For the last 10 seconds with those star jumps, see if we can have explosive ones.
Okay, I'm going to do a shout out to our backstage crew, which is Molly, Kerry and Noah, who are helping us backstage today.
1, and rest there. Good. The next one then, we've got a plank. Okay? Standard plank, keeping those backs nice and flat. If you need to, just plank from the knees. Okay, plank from the knees. If you want to advance it a little bit more, opposite hand and foot taps back into the middle, out to the other side. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Holding that plank.
So we're going to have some sore tummy muscles in the morning.
Keeping those hips down.
Okay, Jaden Marshall shouting out a few times for Paul Marshall, so a great shout out for Paul Marshall. Ben Hooton, shout out to Sam Hooton at County.
Less than 30 seconds left, stay strong.
Truffle 69 is saying, can I have a shout out? And I'm from Thurston CC. So that's a shout out from Max J going under the name of Truffle.
12 seconds left. Work over there, Casey, with those plank taps, keep that going. Nearly there. 7
We've
seconds.
got a shout out to Grace Edwards. So I hope you're working really hard this morning.
As well, we've got shout out Rosie Kingston, Hebe Hartshorn,
1.
and Grace Wilson. Shout out to my little sister. She's joining in, just turned 7.
Okay, I reckon another 10 showers, just let's catch them up here. Okay, we've got some high knee punches. If you want, just normal high knees. If you can, advance knees, touch jumps. Okay, you got to great. Putting those in now. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. High knee punches, or just high knees. You want to go. If you can, instantly. Yeah.
Okay, Emma Jacobs is saying well done, and that's from everybody from the Jacobs family. Shout out for Owen McLachlan. Esme Child's getting a shout out, as is Fireman Sam. Do we have a Fireman Sam at Westley?
We have a fireman, Sam, yeah.
Shout out from Tollgate. Lovely to hear from you, Tollgate. That is fantastic.
Wow, well done. This is working so hard. You can see a lot of red faces, which means you are getting the blood pumping.
10 seconds.
A few shout outs to 5CN. We know they're a really hard working PE class, so well done.
3, 2, 1. 3 exercises left. You'll be pleased to know we're lying down on our newly formed 6-packs. So we've got 4 swimmers, 2, 3, 4. Then going to push up 4 windmills. 1, 2, 3. If you want to go from your knees, the windmill will go. Get ready. 45 seconds. 4 swimmers, 4 windmills. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Okay, we have a shout out from Mr. Moore, who said that the year 6s in room 8 are working so hard. So well done.
Forward arm circles. As soon as you don't fall over. To advance, you can lift those feet as high as possible off the floor. Lift your head and shoulder blades up.
We have a shout out to Rosa, who's in AAB.
Keep those hips down with the wheels. That's it. Nice quick changes between exercises. 15 seconds left.
Okay, we've got a shout from Zach Goodwin, and Zach at Tollgate is loving the workout. That's brilliant. Lovely to hear from you. We've also got a shout out from Lucy Bennett, who's shouting out for Tali Barrett. We've got another shout out for Esme Child.
3, 2, 1. Hold it there. Up on your feet. So that. Easy modification, just a half squat hold. If you want, you can throw in a jump squat every time you reach the end of the mat. Get ready. 45 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hips low, all the way across.
And we've got a shout out for Jack Woppett, ex-Westley student who's working hard at County Upper.
Got a shout out to Julie and Keith, who are watching. Hope you're working hard, Julie and Keith.
Hi, Julie. 27 seconds left.
Okay, shout out for Owen Wilson and a shout out to Jasmine Hogg.
18 seconds left.
18 seconds to go. And Grayson is asking for a shout out for Ethan Wilson.
10 seconds. Keep working up. Keep it going. Just missing your shopping trolley. And rest there.
Wow, that was so good work. Well done. Working so hard.
To the final exercise. Last 55 seconds. Opposite elbow to opposite knee. Okay? Opposite elbow to opposite knee. If you want, you can just cycle your legs. If you can, at home, if you want to try a bit hungry, 2 taps to each knee. Okay, 45 seconds on the clock. Here we go. We're done after this. 3, 2, 1, and we're off.
Got a shout out from Thurston Primary School. So hello to all of you.
Lovely to hear so many people shouting out from primary schools that are tuning into our live PE lesson. We've got a shout out for Charlie Hoggart, Lily Rose, Flo Roberts. Shout out to all of the Westley team. Thanks ever so much for that shout out.
Halfway, keep it going. Oh, we're done after this. Oh, leave nothing in the tank.
But a shout out to Sony, who's our Year 5 student, and she is swimming on the floor. Absolutely brilliant, Miss Sony.
10 seconds and we're done. Come on. Bit quicker, come on. That's out now, last 5. 3, 2, 1. Done.
Wow, amazing work. Brilliant. Well done. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, good work. Right. Thank you. We need a mop to aisle 4.
Wow, well done everyone there. That was so good. It's so easy for us to be behind the screen watching you all work so hard. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Absolutely brilliant. Well done to everyone at home who was working so hard during that. Okay, so we're moving on now to the next part of our live session. Okay, and if you are at home now, I think you've worked hard enough, so you can have time to sit down. We would like you to continue watching us live, but you've got a little bit of a breather, so make sure you have plenty of water. Okay, last week I introduced the first ever Beat the Teacher Challenge. And this week I have another member of our Westley our staff who is going to come and take on that challenge. Okay, so we're welcoming in Mrs. Chowan Jones.
I hope you enjoyed that. I'm a bit breathless. Well done, Nick. That was absolutely fantastic.
Mrs. Chowan Jones was actually working out just behind the screen doing everything, so that is top effort. Well done. Okay, so our challenge this week is going to be a tennis-inspired challenge. At home, if you have a tennis racket and tennis ball, fantastic. If you don't, you can use a frying pan and a pair of clean socks, may I add. Don't want you to get any dirty socks, nice clean socks. So what you are going to do is you're going to have 30 seconds of a working time, and you're going to see how many you can throw up and catch back into the frying pan. Okay.
So I think you said earlier that we could do it different ways. So I'm just going to have a quick practice. So
Have
if
a
you
practice.
do that, that's fine. If you want to use the back of the pan, you can give that a go. I haven't. And this is a very heavy pan.
It is
So
a heavy
you
pan.
do need to make sure you hold it carefully and you give yourself lots of space. I suggest you stand nicely.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to time you for 30 seconds, Mrs. Chowan Jones. Are you ready?
I think so.
Come on, you can do this. Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Great start. Let's go one more time.
Okay,
One more
brilliant.
time. Are we ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 36, 39, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. Yay! Wow, Mr. Chowan Jones, that was amazing. You were saying to me, I'm not going to be great. 40?
I'm not lying, I started with 7 this morning.
Look at that. So, if you can beat that score, please make sure you send in your score to us so we can see who's going to be the leader.
Beat me. I challenge
See if
you.
you can beat Mrs. Chowan Jones. Wow, thank you, Mrs. Chowan Jones.
Have a great morning, guys. Keep fit. Bye.
Brilliant, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Bloomfield, that was absolutely brilliant. You look like you're having way too much fun there. Absolutely brilliant this morning. Ms. Dawn, would you like to come on? And we're going to talk about the projects that we'll be doing in week 1. Okay, we sent the school the opportunity of 3 projects that they could do. They could do a commentary to a football, netball or rugby match. They could do a dancing, a bit like Strictly commentary and a review of a dance, or they could make a board game. I would just like to do a few shout outs for people that I thought were brilliant. Sibby, your commentary was absolutely fantastic. I absolutely loved it. You've done the graphics and things as well, so well done, Sibby. Alfie Tuffin, your project, your commentary project, was one of the funniest things I've seen this year. I absolutely loved it. It was so professional and it was so witty, and I absolutely loved it. So well done to Alfie Tuffin. With regard to the dancing, Emily and Laura Halder, your dancing judging was absolutely brilliant. Again, very, very funny. And my favourite board game was Erin Murphy's. Brilliant board game. Loved it.
Yeah, that was very good, wasn't it? However, I'm going to argue that. I think Charlie Crouch in Year 5.
Okay.
That board game was very good. And she used darts, I think.
Did she?
Yeah, and incorporated exercising and dance with that.
Okay, so should we get that brought forward? Could you pass that forward? So this is a replica of what Charlie achieved. Okay, I'm going to show you first of all on the iPad what Charlie sent in to us. So that's Charlie's version. You can just see her eyes peeking through the bottom there. Well done, Charlie. And we have recreated that today. Okay, so what's going to happen is Miss Braun is going to talk to 2 of our students through a version of this game. And this game you will be able to recreate at home, maybe with a parent or a grandparent, if you've got a grandparent looking after you, a brother or sister, or you could just do a timed version of this game on your own. Okay, so this is going to work. We've got 2 of our students, we've got Lily and Casey that are going to take turns. And should we get Lily to go first?
Yeah. So you're going to hold it up to the bar. There we go, lovely. So the dice is landed on number 1, which means she does it for the number on the outside, so it's 14. So you're going to do it for 14 seconds, okay? And you're going to do walkouts. Do you know what walkouts are? Okay, so let's stand up. You're going to copy me. Okay, so you're going to walk out, keeping your legs nice and straight. So your hands are like this, and then you're going to join your legs onto your hands like that. Okay, and then you're going to do that again. But we're going to do it for 14 seconds.
14 seconds.
You got that?
Okay, so 14 seconds Lily, starting now.
Good.
Excellent.
Nice, and then bring your feet. Lovely. Good. Go again. Bring your feet to your hands.
Got a shout out from Mr. Austin saying, thank you, Westley PE. I'll now offer a job. Mr. Austin's offered a job.
We've inspired him. It's brilliant.
One more,
Can
Lily.
you fit one more in?
Well, shout out to Erin Murphy, who's in 6LC. Well done to you.
Okay, so Lily's had her go. Now, Casey, you collect your dice, Lily, and Casey's going to have his go. And he has landed on a plank. And the plank is for 20 seconds. So if you get an 8-plank position, and you're going to do the time this time, Miss. Okay, let's go.
We've got a shout out from Truffle69 again, saying, can we have a big shout out for everybody at Thurston Community College? So hello, Thurston.
Shout out to Benny Farley. Please, you're watching, Benny. Well done.
I've had an email from Glemsford Primary Academy. I hear Glemsford Primary Academy are joining in. Welcome, Glemsford.
Okay, excellent. So again, Casey's had his go. We'll have 2 more goes each. So go for Lily. What
Oh,
she...
let me get you down again.
Not very good aim, Lily. We'll have to work on that.
Land on the dot. One more.
Target practice is what we're going to work
Start
on.
up. 15 seconds to start up.
Okay, 15 seconds to start on. You can start that now.
Okay, we've got a shout out from Ben Hooton. A few names for us to shout out. So shout out to Max Turner, Blake Gardner, Archie Bird, Harvey Archer, Max Scrivener. Well done to all of you.
2, 1. Casey, would you like to take your turn? Okay, so you've got walkouts, which is the same as what Lee done in the first exercise. So Miss Braun, you want to demonstrate that again for Casey?
Okay, so you're going to start up straight. You're going to walk your hands up, and then you're going to walk your feet to your hands.
Absolutely brilliant. Your time can start now.
Okay, I've got a complicated shout out. This is a shout out from Grayson LaRue to a shout out to Jessica Samuel for thanking for shouting out Ethan Wilson. That's a lot of shouting out.
And this one was for 14 seconds. So you've got 6 seconds to go, Casey.
A shout out here to Sexton's Manor. Great to see Sexton's Manor joining in. So that was from Jessica Samuel.
Okay, Lily this time has landed on rest. So every other activity is a rest. So you get to rest, and you get to rest for 9 seconds. Bad news for you, Casey. Means you're straight back in with your next roll. This is your last roll. And almost on the board. Let's try one more time, nice and gently. And you have landed on star jump. So we did 15 seconds of star jump. You saw Nick Smith and Swinty Sarah doing this earlier, so you should know how this works. Your time starts now.
Got another shout out from Thurston Community College from Izzy Quilton. So hello, Izzy.
We've got a shout out from one of our superstars at Westley, Ty Stanley, who is doing the Couch to 5K. I hope that Sporty Sarah inspired you to do that. Fantastic.
Shout out to Lily Rose, shout out to Flo Roberts, and a shout out to 7KS.
Okay, so we've had Lily and Casey doing our board game, which was chosen by Miss Braun as one of the best that was sent in. All the projects that you've done are being marked or have been marked. We're giving gold, silver and bronze certificates, and you will get them when you return to school. I think Casey and Lily deserve maybe a prize, and we'll give them a prize. But definitely Charlie, when you come back into school, Charlie, for that game, I think you deserve a special prize. So when you are back in school, come to the PE department. Okay, I'm going to now work on a game that I looked at last year, thought was really good. Again, you can do this as a timed version, or you can do this against someone. So I'm going to ask Eleanor to step forward. The idea is we have a set of cards each. I'm going to work today from 1 to 7 with a jack, queen and king. Come forward, Eleanor, don't be shy. Your set of cards are going to be placed over there, and mine are going to be placed over here. We're going to run out to the first card. If the first card is a number 1, we're going to then try and find number 2. You look ever so worried, don't be worried. If it's not a number 1, we're going to run back to our mat, touch our foot on our mat, and then go and find number 1. If we find number 1, we then look for number 2, number 3. First one to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the winner. The problem is there is also a jack, a queen, and a king in there. If you turn over a jack, a queen, or a king, the nasty Miss Braun is going to give you an exercise to do, maybe 10 sit-ups, 10 press-ups, 10 star jumps. You come back to your mat, you do that on your mat, and then you carry on trying to find the next number. Eleanor is going to represent the children at school, and I'm going to represent the staff at school. So type into the comment section now whether you are supporting the staff or whether you are supporting the children, okay? And I really want to hear lots of shout outs for Eleanor because she's going to work ever so hard, okay? You good to go? So on your mats, you look like that side, Eleanor, just there. Okay, stay there on your mat, and every time you come back, I'm going to touch the mat. We're going to find 1 first, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are we ready? Go!
Okay, we've got to shout out straight away. Straight away, coming in for Eleanor. So well done, Eleanor. You got the first shout out.
Shout out from Lola Jackson saying well done to St Edmunds Primary School, and we've got absolutely no one thinking the staff are going to win this challenge.
Come on, Augustine, give me a shout out. Support me.
Oh, Lois Hannah, start staff for the win.
Go, 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 go,
Oh.
Okay, good, let's go.
Okay, number 5.
Eleanor, you've got so many shout outs. It's hard to keep up.
So, Eleanor, we have 55 shout outs for you.
10 push-ups.
Eleanor, 55 shout outs for you and 1 for Mr. Daniel.
Oh, who's that from?
That is for Games for Life, whoever that is.
Sophie.
Oh, it's a queen. No. Okay, 10 star jumps.
Oh, star jumps. Good girl, Eleanor.
I'm not done this one yet.
No.
You are working so hard, Eleanor. Amazing work.
A shout out from Mr. Redding for Ryan's Guinea Pigs. Well done, Ryan's Guinea Pigs, for joining in.
Yes, number 1. Good. Then we'll take number 2.
Oh, we've got a shout out to Poppy Moore, working from home. Well done, Poppy.
6. Not very good at this, Eleanor.
Oh, bring back out. Bring back again.
Tobias, Mr. Daniel. Tobias says, go, Mr. Daniel.
Yeah, Jack.
Oh, okay, 10 star jumps.
10 star jumps.
There's a king. 10 push-ups.
Mr. Redding, Alicia's shouted back at you. There's a lot of shouting.
I don't know where to look. 6.
That's not quite number 1. What one?
We've got a shout out from Max Turner, who would like to say a big hello to everyone at AAB. Hope you're all watching and taking part, AAB.
And a big shout out from Max Turner for your class, Miss Bloomfield.
Number 2.
Oh, yay.
Well done. Good. Go back, go back, go back.
What number is Eleanor on?
She's got to find number 3 this time.
What?
Number 3.
Oh.
She's got a little bit of help. No, don't pick up that one. Oh, the king again.
Oh, no.
2 more.
going, Eleanor.
Star jumps. Get 10 star jumps again.
Go, well done.
Pick up that middle card, it's a king, okay? Don't pick it up.
Casey, who do you want to win?
One!
Oh,
Yes!
oh,
The children, yay!
So Mr. Moore says, come on, Mr. I know you're old, but you must be able to move faster than that.
We're on 4 now, Mr.
What?
Adam Winterbottom wants a shout out to 5CN.
Oh, this one? Oh, so Jack, back you go. Let's do 40,000.
We've got a shout out from Ben Hooton. Shout out to Miss Burgess and ALB class.
Lucas Denny just says no.
Not today.
Oh, number 4. Don't pick that one up, that's the king. Lovely, good. Lovely, back you go.
What's your?
Number 5 now.
5! Yeah.
We've got a shout out to 11K, whoever 11K are, by George Gribble. Hello, 11K.
Jack!
So
Jack, again. Move star jumps.
remember at home, you can do this during the week
Oh,
or at the weekend, whenever you've got some spare time to be working.
Grace Wilson, what a lovely shout out this is, Miss Bloomfield. Grace Wilson says, a shout out to my beautiful mum.
Oh, lovely.
everything you want these two.
Is she as beautiful as Sarah?
Well, that's debatable.
Yes! Oh, what's your?
We're on 7.
No!
I feel it. It's going to be 7. Yes, it's 7!
Oh! Winner!
Woo! Well done.
Okay. Woo! Miss Bloomfield, you might need to do a bit of talking from this point.
Again, I feel like I'm getting a bit of a winning deal here, just behind the screen, not doing anything. But well done to everyone today. It was absolutely amazing effort. Thank you very much to our special guest, Lily. Well done to you. Thank you. Thank you to Eleanor. Well done to you. And Casey. Well done to you, Casey. Brilliant.
Well, absolutely fantastic. Shows that I need to get myself in shape. Eleanor's absolutely beat me. Okay, I'm absolutely beat. But I would like to say that if you do the tennis challenge,
Yep.
and you do a better score, record a better score than Miss Chohan Jones did, email us
Definitely.
w.pe@berryedu.org. Woo!
Okay, and I think I'm going to take over Miss Daniel. I think he's a bit out of breath there. So we're going to be live streaming our PE lessons every single Wednesday at 9:15. And this morning it was a little bit touch and go whether we could bring it to you. We were going to plan on going all over the world to try and bring this to you. So we did. We finally got there.
We
We've done
did,
it, so
indeed.
that's good. Make sure that you're keeping active. If it is going for a walk with your family, a bike ride, on the trampoline. I know last lockdown, a lot of people said they were on their trampoline, which is a great way to keep physically active. So well done if you're doing that.
Of course, you can do what I just done, or you could time it and just do it yourself. See if you can beat your timing time.
Absolutely. So thank you again for everyone who has been watching us this morning. Great to hear so many primary schools that are watching, and even people that have been at Westley who've moved up to county. So it's great to hear from you too.
Absolutely. So our last message to you guys is keep moving.
And keep smiling.
Have a great day.